Dexter. Welcome back to my Astroimaging Journey channel. Here we are, January 2nd, 2019. Just wanted to do a year in review and hopefully what's coming up in this year. So first off, we have the year in review. So what did 2018 bring us? Well, started off the year unemployed. End of 2017 I got laid off. Long story short, didn't want to move to where the position was moving to, so I took the layoff, the severance package after 17 years with the company, and I did my best to line things up to have a couple weeks off, get into the new year, and get right back at to working. Unfortunately, things didn't pan out as quickly as I hoped, and it wasn't until around March-ish that I was able to get back to work and collecting a paycheck. But I was still drawing severance money, and that's where this channel and the telescope rig and everything came together, because I did have that severance money coming in. I could have just sat on my rear and lived off that severance money for a while, but it's not who I am, and I needed to get back to work, and I also wanted to set myself up for the future. I needed to get the roof done on the house. I wanted to get a parking pad built so I could put a garage on it eventually. Things like that. Pay down some old debt. And when all was said and done, started working again and was able to get this nice little telescope rig going and this channel, and it's been a blast. Unfortunately, November, the client I was working for announced mass layoffs, and later that evening I got the call from the contracting company that I was working through, that my services were no longer needed, and they didn't have any other place to put me, so they were releasing me from the contract early. So I've been on the job hunt, keeping my head up. So it's been a crazy year. Dogs are doing great. Got engaged to my fiance Tina. She had her first grandchild this year. We had a couple down periods, but for the most part we've been up, and grandchild, optical assembly, a YouTube channel, still got all my dogs. Duke is my 15-year-old now, lab beagle mix. Didn't think he would live that long, so every day we have with him there, that's a blessing too. So it's been a roller coaster of a year. Starting out this year like I started out last year, unemployed. But luckily I set myself up that I got some time. I got some savings that I'm trying to find that right fit, and we'll see what happens. But where we're going to go with the channel in 2019, 2018 was all over the board. I've done a couple setup videos. I've done I was going through them last night, and I just saw where I've been redundant in some areas, but that's okay, because that way you can go back and look at what was my setup like in the beginning, and then how did it evolve, and it's good to see that progression. But hopefully people coming to the channel realize that, hey, this is an older setup, this is the newer setup. Maybe they don't have the focal reducer, and or maybe they don't have certain things that I didn't have in the first one, so the first one might be more applicable to them than the second one. But it's a progression. I'm clearly not going to delete any of the videos, because you never know which one might be helpful to somebody. But regardless, it's been a good year, and learned quite a bit with SGP. Pix Insight, PhD, the whole gambit of software to get this stuff going, and finally getting some data, and now that I'm getting some what I think is good data, I'm taking a deeper dive than what I took before, and I'm starting to see things I didn't see before. I'm seeing some oblong stars when I zoom in. Is that flexure? Is that a tracking issue? I know I'm seeing some drift, so I've got to tighten down my polar alignment process. Now that we've got, the sun sets, a little around 6 o'clock, 5 something, and it's coming up in the morning, around 6 o'clock. So we're getting almost 12-hour nights, a solid 10 hours worth of imaging, if we have everything set up properly to just hit the ground running. And I'm noticing 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight, 2, somewhere in there, depending on the night, my focus is, so, do I go out there, catch a nap, go out there, refocus, catch another nap, go out, refocus? Do I just let it run through the night and hope that I don't lose focus? I've got a few things I need to work out in 2019. I don't want to spend the money on a motorized focuser right now. But I've got money set aside for it. But that's my reserve of reserves that I don't want to touch. But guaranteed, as soon as I get a job, I'm going to be adding a motorized focuser to my rig, so that hopefully at least we can eliminate that part of the problems, and then the rest of it's just what I need to do as far as getting things set up before the session's over, or before the session starts, excuse me. So job hunt, trying to get some certifications. I know I've apologized in other videos. I want to apologize again. The way the job was going, and other things that were in play at the time, from a personal nature. I just couldn't. I could record the desktop, and I could maybe do a couple videos here and there, but I got backlogged. I think I was backlogged about 12 episodes. So, I guess that was the blessing in getting laid off, is, after I ended up studying and, taking a couple weeks of studying for a certification and getting it, and a few other things around the house here, and then holidays, I was able to just rock and roll and get those videos edited and put together and uploaded. So, I've got I'm going to say three-ish. Okay, I've got 2 on SGP. I've got my sessions, or my settings, and then how I go about creating a sequence. So that's probably going to actually be 2 episodes, and then get my Pix Insight workflow. So clearly there's going to be a long full-length one, but I do have them all recorded, all the modules that I use in my workflow, and how my workflow is. So that's going to be 8 chapters inside that episode. So they'll be uploaded as I get them done, and then when I say I have the full length, have them all compiled, I'll put the full length up there afterwards. So those are coming. If I, when I get this next job, I'll get that motorized focuser, do an unboxing. I'll do a installation, and then a first use, and we'll see how it goes. So, that'll be 3 episodes to look for this year. And then hopefully, This year we can start concentrating on less process and setup and all that, and actually getting to the imaging. I finally got M103 imaged at 8 hours. The data is not perfect. I know it could be better in certain areas. Some of that might be due to, it's a cluster, so I can go out and image during the full moon. But it does wash it out a little bit. So I need to go through and I need to score each sub and see if I can improve some of the data on that, but with 8 hours worth of data. And that's actually the one that I have the Pix Insight workflow on. So I might not touch that one. We're getting into galaxy season, and there's other targets up there. The moon's down. Just need the weather to clear up. Those of us here on the East Coast have had a horrendous 2018. Where I live, we actually set the record for the wettest year on record. I think we were at like 36 point something inches of rain was the previous record, and we almost hit 40 or something like that, or maybe it was 56 and 60. Either way, we beat the annual record for rain by at least 3 or 4 inches. If that all came in like 2 or 3 big storms and hurricanes, whatever, then the rest of the year we could image, it would be great. But that's been the biggest struggle in 2018, is that you get one night and then you got to wait 2 weeks, and you might get 2 nights and then you got to wait a week and a half, and then you might get one night. And, it's been, from an imaging standpoint, getting out there, just been horrible, especially when you're trying to learn, because you want those consecutive nights where you can just leave it set up and dial it in the next night, and make a couple tweaks and then dial it in, and hopefully have 5 or 6 and finally get your process down within a week or two, and rock and roll. But it's just not the way it was this year. So here we are. It's supposed to rain again today. So I think I'm going to be out of imaging skies until maybe Sunday night if I'm lucky. Current forecast, maybe. But it might have to be Monday. So here we are, almost a week away. And I haven't been able to image in almost a week. It just sucks. Yeah, it just sucks. So, but it is what it is. We live where we live, or at least I live where I live, and it's the little thing that I got to deal with. But I'm hoping for some good stuff in 2019. We'll see what happens with the job front. We'll see what happens with the imaging front. We'll see what happens with the channel. I want to personally say thank you to every single one of the subscribers thus far. Everybody that's watched those videos, that's liked those videos, and the feedback that I've gotten, that at least some of you are getting some help out of what I'm putting up here. It's just been, that's why I put it up here. Here's where I failed, and here's what I had to do to fix it. And if it helps you, great. If it doesn't, at least hopefully maybe you got a laugh at my face or something. I don't know. But regardless, it's been great. This is not a goodbye. This is more to come. I really enjoy doing this, and I'm hoping to get some more, some processing stuff done into the new year. Like I said, we're getting into galaxy season. I really want to get some of those galaxies, like was it N51? Or is that Andromeda? Andromeda does not work for my rig. No, that's going to be a mosaic, like a 90 panel mosaic. No. The Whirlpool Galaxy. I can't remember what the designator is now, but anyways, the Whirlpool Galaxy is going to be coming up soon. Cigar Galaxies up there. We got quite a few that I can image and then hopefully get Bix Insight, my workflow dialed in a little bit better and some better notes, and I'm novice at it. Only been using it for 4 months or so. So there's a lot to learn in it. There's a lot of things that it can do that I don't know about. So I'm hitting other channels like mine, Astro Imaging channel, Richard Block, the Canadian, I can't think of his name now, Trevor, the backyard something, he, and then there's Chuck's Astrophotography, I think is the other one. There's a lot of channels out there, a lot of information, and that's the key. I present the information as I know it, and then Chuck presents the information as he knows it, and Richard does, and then the guys and gals now over at the Astro Imaging channel, Astro Imaging channel, present information, and then it's up to you guys, the viewers, to take all that information and figure out what works for you. Because this is all what works for us, and we're constantly going to these other sources. That, well, what's working for Trevor? What's working for Chuck? What's working for this person? Well, that might work for me. Let me try it. No, doesn't fit with my workflow. Or I don't want to use refractors. I want to use SETs or reflectors or what have you. So all his Trevor does a lot of stuff with refractor telescopes, which won't help me much, since I'm more of an SET reflector person. So we'll see what happens with that. We're just constantly taking in information and trying to improve, and we'll see where 2019 takes us, and hopefully it'll be a good year. Hopefully the stuff that happened great this year stays up, and the stuff that went down goes back up, and we end up on the top end of that scale in 2019. So with that, I want to thank each and every one of you, and appreciate everything that you provided me in the way of comments, questions, feedback, your views, your likes, your subscriptions, everything. I appreciate you, and I can't say enough. Clear skies. Have a good rest of your day. 2019 is going to be a great year.